Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Convocation 2019, the first series of convocation ceremonies in the new Merlis-Belcher Place. We acknowledge the traditional territory of Treaty 6 and the homeland of the Métis on which we have gathered for this event. We pay our respects to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationship with one another. Please stand as you are able for the honor song and the arrival of the Chancellor's platform party and our graduands. Thank you to our drum group, Buffalo Boy Productions, for performing today's honor song. Would you please remain standing as we join our vocalist, Kate Nachalobe, in the singing of O Canada. Will you please be seated? Once again, graduands and distinguished guests, welcome. I am Beth Bilson. I'm the University Secretary, and I now have the honor of introducing you to the members of the platform party you see before you. So beginning with the front row on my left, Russ Eisinger, University Registrar, Patty McDougall, Vice Provost Teaching, Learning and Student Experience, Karen Chad, Vice President Research, Roland Duquette, Elder, Merlis Belcher, past honorary degree recipient, and you probably noticed his name on the building when you came in, Tony Vanelli, Provost and Vice President Academic, President Peter Stoichev, Chancellor Roy Romano, Tim Hearn, today's honorary degree recipient, Keith Willoughby, Dean, Edwards School of Business, Martin Phillipson, Dean, College of Law, Vince Bruni-Bossio, recipient of the Master Teacher Award. And in the second row, our orators, Dave Munch, Sasha Eswine, Jennifer Martin, Marcel de la Gorgendiere from the University Senate, Jacqueline Huck, University of Saskatchewan Retirees Association, Alejandra Fonseca, Vice President Student Affairs Graduate Students Association, Jamie Bell, Vice President Operations and Finance, University of Saskatchewan Student Union, Tamara Larry, Associate Dean Academic, College of Law, Chelsea Wilness, Associate Dean Research and Academic, Edwards School of Business, Noreen Mahoney, Associate Dean Students and Degree Programs, Edwards School of Business, and Yves Leboutillier, Vice Dean, French Common Law Program, University of Ottawa. I'd like to call forward Peter Stoichev, the President of the University of Saskatchewan.
Welcome, everyone. We acknowledge that we're on Treaty 6 territory in the traditional homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to our First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationships with one another. Just before I begin my remarks, I want to say that this is the first time in 50 years that Convocation has come back to campus. And 50 years ago, we had, of course, far fewer students. We could use Convocation Hall in the Peter McKinnon building as the venue. Now we can't. We needed a place that could serve so many in our community. And the reason that we're able to do this is because we have this venue and that Merlis Belcher gave us the transformative gift that allowed it to come into existence. He wanted a building, his vision was for a building that not only was a multi-purpose sports facility, but a true community gathering place. And there's nothing more that speaks to community at this university than Convocation. So Merlis, on behalf of the thousands of people who are here again today, thank you so very much. Eminent Chancellor, graduates and families, honored guests, I do thank the many people who are here today to be part of this moment in the University of Saskatchewan's history. In particular, I want to acknowledge today's elder, Roland Duquette, who has been here for every single one of these ceremonies. And I shouldn't have had that coffee this morning. Who's been here for every single one of these ceremonies, and his presence, I can tell you, is deeply appreciated. Thank you, Roland. The Buffalo Boys Drum Group, honorary degree recipient Tim Hearn. I also acknowledge, thank you, the person who just gave me the water. The many faculty who are on the stage in front of you who are the core of the university. Yves Leboutier, Vice Dean in Law at the University of Ottawa. He at his university and the faculty in front of you have been leaders and mentors for so many of you who will graduate today. We're here to celebrate a milestone in the lives of the graduates who will soon cross this stage. We're also here because this university has brought us together. A university is a wonderful thing. It's crucial to the ongoing conversation that we call democracy. We're so fortunate to be in Canada and to have the freedoms that we have. Given the world that we're in now, where it's difficult to separate out what's true and what's not true, where our future depends on knowledge and the correct use of it, where research holds the key to our greatest challenges, where free speech and informed speech are critical to our humanity, universities are needed more than they have ever been, and the University of Saskatchewan is needed more than it has ever been. People with degrees in business and law, such as all of you, are needed more than they have ever been. Strengthened with a University of Saskatchewan degree that you worked hard to achieve, what all of you crossing this stage today go on to do in your lives will matter immensely to our collective future. And many others helped you to get to this point, and so please take the time to thank your spouses and partners, as I am right now, your parents and grandparents, friends, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, communities, elementary school teachers, high school teachers, the professors you appreciated, or the classmates who helped you out, because you don't achieve something this big without a lot of help along the way. Many graduates across the country are sitting in seats like you are in venues such as this one, getting their university degrees. But I want to tell you that there is something special, unique about a University of Saskatchewan degree, and it's because at this university we govern ourselves not just on the basis of what we want to be, but what the world needs us to be. The world needs thoughtful, educated, and humane leaders, and some of the country's most formative holders of high office got their degrees here. Among them are Prime Minister John Diefenbaker, who graduated with his U of S law degree exactly 100 years ago. He eventually became Prime Minister, and after that, our Chancellor. Governor General Ray Natishan, premiers such as Scott Moe and our Chancellor Roy Romano, 9 Canadian premiers in all have now been students at the U of S, including 5 of this province, many lieutenant governors of Saskatchewan, including our wonderful Lieutenant Governor Tom Malloy, a former University of Saskatchewan Chancellor himself, and of other provinces as well. Many Canadian ambassadors to countries around the world, dozens of high-ranking public servants in Ottawa, such as Gordon Thiessen, former Governor of the Bank of Canada, Indigenous leaders, such as law graduate and former Canadian ambassador to many countries, and senior advisor to the TRC, Deborah Chatzis. The world needs groundbreaking researchers who change how we understand the world that we live in. And people who went on to win the Nobel Prize were here. One was chemistry graduate student Henry Taube, who received it in 1983. Another Nobel laureate from the University of Saskatchewan was Gerhard Hertzberg, who was offered a position in physics here in 1935 by our first president, Walter Murray, in order to be able to escape with his wife from Nazi Germany when no other university on this continent had the humanity or the vision to offer him a position. Hertzberg won the Nobel Prize in '71. The world needs cures for cancer, and we are the home of the cobalt-60 radiation therapy that revolutionized cancer treatment around the world, starting in 1951, and saved the lives of many cancer patients, millions of cancer patients around the world. The small Acme machine and electric company, I love this story, on Idlewild Drive built the casing for it. U of S medical researchers built the concept. Many thousands of patients were treated right here over the 20 years until it was replaced with newer technology in the early 1970s. Sylvia Fedorik, who later became Saskatchewan's first female lieutenant governor, and after that our chancellor, was a graduate student member of the project's team. Significant cancer research continues at this university, building on that world-famous history. The world needs great writers, and writers such as Sharon Butala, who wrote Perfection of the Morning, and 3-time Governor General's Award winner Guy Vanderhaeg were here. It needs great artists too, and there's hardly a visual artist, musician, or theater professional in this province who hasn't had some close connection with this university. The world needs well-educated, creative, and entrepreneurial business school graduates to strengthen our economy, influence policymakers, and support economic sustainability for everyone. It needs graduates such as our Chair of the Board of Governors and Chair of the Children's Hospital Foundation, Shelley Brown, recently appointed a member of the Order of Canada, the country's highest civilian honor, and such as Tim Hearn, today's honorary degree recipient, about whom you will hear more shortly. The world needs open-minded, well-educated, courageous, and compassionate members of the justice sector, and we have graduated many. Law graduates currently hold the position of Chief Justice or Judge in Saskatchewan, Newfoundland and Labrador, and Nunavut. Supreme Court Justice Emmett Hall was a student here, a law school classmate of John Diefenbaker's. Justice Hall's report for the 1964 Royal Commission on National Health Care Services recommended Canada adopt Saskatchewan's public health insurance model. In it, he wrote famously, and I love the phrase, that the only thing more expensive than good health care is no health care. Emmett Hall later became chancellor of this university. Roy Romano, another law school alumnus and now our chancellor, authored in 2002 the only other Royal Commission on the Future of Healthcare in Canada report. They aren't only examples of justice in action, they're examples of social justice in action. And please join me in thanking Roy Romano for serving as our chancellor for these last 3 years. This is his last series of convocation ceremonies in that role, and we have been so proud to have him, a true nation builder, as our chancellor. The world needs great athletes and coaches, and Olympian Sandra Schmerler, track athlete Diane Jones-Konachowski, NHL coaches Mike Babcock and Dave King were at the U of S. In fact, 3 of the NHL's current head coaches were student athletes here with Huskies hockey. I don't think you could find a major league sport anywhere on the globe where the same thing could be said. 3 head coaches from the same university. That history of excellence is why we were able to fund and build Merlis Belcher Place, because people want to support excellence, and I know that many of you at this convocation this morning supported the building of this venue. Thank you. The world needs peace, sometimes hard fought, and just over 100 years after the end of the First World War and on the 75th anniversary of D-Day, I am reminded of the U of S students, faculty, and staff who enlisted in both world wars. The dead are commemorated on the university's memorial gates on College Drive, the Memorial Union Building, and the Peter McKinnon Building. The university gave so many brave soldiers to the First World War cause that the College of Engineering closed its doors for the 1916-1917 academic year, when all of its faculty, staff, and students enlisted. More U of S soldiers were killed in that war than graduated from here in 1918. These are examples of what I mean when I say that we're the university the world needs. Now in our 2nd century, enjoying a time of peace here, secured by those who went before us and by the accomplishments of our alumni and our faculty, we are seen as a research leader in the country, with Canada's only synchrotron, where we pioneered how to produce medical isotopes without using a nuclear reactor. There is a huge demand for these isotopes due to the closure of Chalk River just over 1 year ago. And our cyclotron is now providing medical isotopes to the Royal University Hospital, a fitting homage to that Cobalt-60 work done over half a century ago right here. The world needs to provide food to its rapidly growing population. In order to meet the world's food needs, agricultural productivity needs to double. Our Global Institute for Food Security is helping do just that, enabled by great work done at this university over the decades, including by our Crop Development Center that helps reduce the amount of farmland under summer fallow from almost 50% in 1970 to less than 1% now. The economic impact for the province of that U of S research alone is in the neighborhood of $40 billion. We now add to that economic impact in many, many ways. The world needs to understand the reasons for droughts and floods to safeguard our communities against tragedies such as the many just this year in Canada. Our Global Institute for Water Security, the largest university-led research center of its kind in the world, and ranked #1 in this country, is doing just that. These institutes of water security and food security are also examples of how we bring together different parts of the university to work on global problems. With 17 colleges, including the Edwards School of Business and the College of Law, we have more than any other Canadian university of our size. It's a crucial feature of who we are, because although we do not know what the solutions are to the major challenges facing us today, we do know this, that none of them will be solved by a single discipline or a single person, but by many people from many disciplines working together. We're poised to help do that with faculty like the ones on the stage before you, who are at the cutting edge of research, scholarly, and artistic work. All of these things matter. They demonstrate why we are one of the top 15 research-intensive universities in this country, and why the U of S leads all of Canada's 96 universities when it comes to the per capita economic impact on the surrounding region. Leads all of them. They demonstrate how we make our province, Canada, and the world a better place. Saskatoon as well. Great cities need, and they deserve, great universities. A strong relationship between the two is crucial, and we're fortunate to have one with the City of Saskatoon, a formal partnership that was the first of its kind when we signed it a couple of years ago between a major university and the city that it's in. I say all of this to give you an indication of the greatness of this university, but also to emphasize that the U of S gives degrees that have tremendous value. The degrees that you all worked so hard to get today have tremendous value. Many employers tell me that when they see an application from a University of Saskatchewan graduate, it gets special attention because the quality of the university is so high and because of its graduates' work ethic that's part of our prairie roots. And also because you haven't just learned one particular area of study, you've learned how to transfer what you've learned in one discipline to what is needed in another. You've learned about excellence, and excellence is a transferable skill. Why does that matter? Because we will all need to be able to solve problems we can't even imagine today. Saskatchewan's future will depend on it. The world's future is going to depend on it. It will depend upon educated people like all of you and on the impact that you will have. 44% of the available jobs in this province require the skills and knowledge that a university education provides, 44%, but only 25% of Saskatchewan's workforce has a university education. This underscores the critical importance of investing in higher education and the fact that we are a crucial part of the province's future success. The U of S is a leader in helping Saskatchewan stay ahead of the innovation curve, and without our kind of research and teaching, and without what all of you will go on to do, there is no innovation. And without innovation, there is a diminished future. So now, more than ever, we all need people with business degrees and law degrees from a university like yours to help build a more sustainable world, a more equitable world, a world with the courage to embrace diversity. I am proud that we now have students from well over 100 countries attending this university, and many of those countries are represented by the graduates here today. The world also needs us to be a country that responds to the work of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, because as its chair, Murray Sinclair, stated at the U of S, education is the key to reconciliation. I am grateful that this university is seen in this country as a participant, not as a bystander, in building reconciliation. And the College of Law and the Edwards School of Business have played enormous roles in this. We now have more Indigenous students at our university than ever before in our history. We are at a time when the country faces the greatest challenge and the greatest cultural opportunity of its history. Being the university the world needs today means committing to reconciliation, not to supplant traditional Western understanding, but to enrich it. Acknowledge thousands of years of deep learning that occurred here long prior to it, and to give all students a more informed and ultimately more compassionate understanding of the world. Achieving this will take a strategic mixture of patience and impatience, and it will take time. But as our first president, Walter Murray, wrote to a friend in 1908, when traveling here to begin his work as our first president, we are building for centuries. So go out from here to contribute to your community, to this province, to this country. Be a person the world needs in your own right. This university is a radical experiment in human culture, a place where we learn to be humble servants of a democratic society and respectful critics of it, where we can be building for centuries, for 7 generations. The Roy Romanows, John Diefenbakers, Gerhard Hertzbergs, Sharon Butalas, Emmett Halls, Sylvia Fedoricks, and Tim Hearns of the world, while at university, did not know exactly where they were headed, but they knew to listen for a passion to follow, and that became an endless journey. Your journey will be uniquely yours. It doesn't matter exactly what it is, but be passionate and compassionate about it, and use it for good. So congratulations to all the graduates who are about to cross the stage today and make the world a better place for all of us. Thank you.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I present Tim Hearn. Tim Hearn grew up in Regina and received a bachelor's degree in science at the University of Manitoba. He began his career with Imperial Oil as a marketing representative in North Battleford. He took on positions of increasing responsibility, capping his 40-year career at Imperial Oil with a term as chairman and chief executive officer from 2002 to 2008. His profile in the oil and gas industry was acknowledged with his induction into the Saskatchewan Oil Patch Hall of Fame in 2011. Following his retirement from Imperial Oil, Mr. Hearn established an investment advisory company, Hearn & Associates, which he continues to operate. He has also served on the boards of a number of major enterprises, including the Royal Bank of Canada. One of his nominators said that, quote, he understands the power of human talent and leadership and continues to apply his skills at our company to mentor and advance our people. He has also served on advisory boards to academic institutions and as a Canadian representative on the Commission for Environmental Cooperation. One cause which benefited from Mr. Hearn's philanthropy was the Calgary Campaign to End Homelessness. As chair and board member of the Calgary Homelessness Foundation, he worked to build nonprofit networks and to secure financial support for the campaign. One of his nominators, who worked with him on this project, described his role as a philanthropist, quote, he opens doors, writes letters, and makes calls, and people listen. He and his wife Susan are major philanthropists in our country, and they do not seek so much to have others know of their generosity as to inspire others to look beyond themselves and fix what can and should be fixed. Eminent Chancellor, I present to you Tim Hearn and ask that you confer on him the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
I'll read. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the legislature of the province and with the consent of the Senate of this university, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, and invest you with all the powers, rights, and privileges pertaining thereto. Now we can give applause. Congratulations. Oh, thank you, Israel. Great. Thank you very much. Good luck again.
Eminent Chancellor Romano, President Stoichev, members of the faculty, graduating class of 2019, families and friends, good morning to all of you. I thought this morning I would like to share some thoughts with you on purpose, principles, and character, the cornerstones for leadership and for all aspects of life. These are certainly extraordinary and exciting times as you enter a new stage of life. So as you graduate, life today is much more complicated than even just a few years ago. And I'll list just a few examples. The whole computing evolution and chip advancement have put things at our fingertips as opposed to the same function taking up an entire building 20 or so years ago. And things like social media and instantaneous communications and their various implications and impacts on our lives. If you've done something in public, it's most likely captured on a video. These advances, in combination with many emerging disruptors, are putting untold pressures on a number of the key institutions that support and buttress our democracy. And then, in addition to this, supposedly independent and objective reporting of the news has now morphed into public advocacy. So there's just so much more for you to deal with today and to search for and determine what is the truth. Everything from the warp speed of communications to the transparency of actions, to the nature of how work is done, and now emerging areas like artificial intelligence, the world, the workplace, and the home all function in massively different ways. No wonder there's considerable discontinuity and aberrant behavior occurring in our society today. Many of the pillars of our democracy, law and order, competitive free markets, political leadership, and so on, are all under extreme duress, and it is becoming increasingly difficult to lead and manage in this type of environment. So as a new emerging leader today, how will you navigate and operate while being credible in this kind of environment? I would like to offer up just a few things that hopefully might be helpful to you. First, in everything you do, be clear on what the goal is and objective for each task, each team, or each organization, and then drive relentlessly to achieve that goal. Too often, I've seen people with a multitude of objectives. This results in a lack of focus and clarity. In fact, the person and the organization are consequently going in multiple directions, or multiple and often conflicting directions at the same time. Unfortunately, I've seen this too often, even in sophisticated enterprises. I would also quickly add that how you get results is as equally important as getting the results. For example, if someone gets great results, but does so at the expense of others, or inappropriately, or unethically, then they are in no way great results. Essentially, they are misappropriated, and we should not accept them. In support of clear goals, I thought I would also share with you as to what I view as a few of the personal characteristics and attributes needed for effective leadership in today's challenging world. One of the most underrated and often not discussed leadership attributes is good and active listening. You don't often see it listed in textbooks. But as a leader, you need to hear messages from your organization and from your colleagues, which are often nuanced, particularly when bad news is being delivered. In the past, many of us have worked in hierarchical organizations, so when the boss spoke, people listened and responded. However, today, a lot of work is done when operating in teams, in networks, or on boards of directors, and so on. So listening is essential. I've often seen people focusing on what their next point should be, as opposed to listening to what is being said by others around the table. So today in these settings, we are often asked to exercise what I call horizontal or peer leadership. Therefore, to be effective, means listening carefully and communicating helpful and honest ideas, building on others' points of view so the best answer is achieved. Second, be thoughtful and intellectually inquisitive on all the critical and important topics to ensure your complete understanding of the issue. Third, encourage contrary viewpoints, particularly when plotting strategy and direction. No one knows the future. Therefore, gather multiple perspectives. Encourage competing viewpoints. Acknowledge and reinforce different views. Don't criticize a member for a very different thought or perspective. In the end, synthesize all the thoughts and suggestions into the best option forward. This is why we often work in teams. 5 to 10 minds all working to a common goal ultimately leads to a better outcome than one person's views. I find it discouraging and unhealthy that today in many places and institutions, we are eliminating healthy debate and dialogue. We are often accepting one view, one that maybe is politically correct, and thus eliminating learning, understanding, tolerance, and continuous improvement. To quote Saskatchewan's own John G. Diefenbaker, freedom includes the right to say what others may object to and resent. Fourth, be forthright and clear and direct in your communications, but always preserve the dignity and respect for each person you are working with. Even in difficult discussions with others, always ensure their dignity and respect is preserved. And finally, be courageous. Do the right thing, the right way, for the right reasons. This is where a moral, principles-based approach in life and in work will help guide you effectively. These difficult events and challenges occur more often than you realize, and often in usually very important situations. To demonstrate by way of illustration, we've all recently observed a real-life example of what I'm referring to here. That is the SNC-Lavalin issue. This was an intersection with business, the rule of law, and political democracy. This was and is a highly important event in that it tested many of the core elements of our modern democracy and its ongoing success, like accountability, equality, transparency, the rule of law, and our justice system. So today I thought this would be an appropriate example given your graduating disciplines of law and business and my comments on character. While there were many people involved in this case, I wanted to highlight one person's actions relative to character, and that was former Minister Jane Philpott. She was not the central person to the issue, but she chose an important path and action based on both principle and character. She chose to resign her cabinet position with an explanation which in part her statement read, and I quote, "It grieves me to leave a portfolio where I was at work to deliver on an important mandate. I must abide by my core principles, my ethical responsibilities, and constitutional obligations. There can be a cost to acting on one's principles, but there's a bigger cost to abandoning them. A bigger cost to abandoning them." I don't know Ms. Philpott, but I do know that her personal moral authority to lead has only been enhanced and elevated by her actions. In another talk recently to a group of senior leaders, I made the following comments. The unrelenting commitment to personal ethics and integrity in all that you do, as well as the treatment of your fellow persons with the utmost dignity and respect, these have and should continue to remain steadfast pillars in our society and central to our own personal behavior. I would quickly add, do not succumb to the temptations of political correctness to avoid sticky situations. It will undermine your credibility and your reputation. People will immediately detect and see duplicity in your words and your actions, and therefore not respect you nor your leadership. You will lose the moral authority to lead. So in simple terms, do the right things the right way for the right reasons, and you will not only feel much better about yourself, but you will be left with a clear conscience. A lot of these values were instilled in me growing up in Saskatchewan. And my hope and aspiration is that you, as our next leaders in society, will model the way with this behavior for many others in the years to come. In closing, I was fortunate and blessed to be able to grow up and personally develop in this great province. As I watched my children grow up in other parts of Canada and the world, I was able to compare the things that Saskatchewan offered me that were in many ways unparalleled to what they had. But for any success I've had, much of what and who I am has been honed and developed with some invaluable personal relationships. My boyhood best friend Wayne Yans, now deceased, represented here today by his wife Linda. My adult best friend Glenn Acaster and his wife Marion are here today, and they had many influential impacts on me. Also, my youngest daughter Denise, now from Seattle, is in attendance and has been a very special person for Susan and I, and from whom we have learned a lot. And most importantly of all, is my wife of 48 years, Susan, an unwavering supporter and advisor who has provided much wisdom on many fronts and has been hugely instrumental in me being here today. I want to thank all of you. And finally, I want to express my appreciation to the university and all of those involved with this award, and to wish the graduates all the very best in your pursuit of new vistas and opportunities. You are our best hope. Many blessings to you all, and thank you.
Very well said.
Eminent Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the University Senate, I present to you the petition of the Council of this university that the candidates to be named, having fulfilled all the requirements of the bylaws, may, with your permission, be admitted to the degrees, diplomas, and certificates to which they are entitled.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the legislature of this province, and with the consent of the council of this university, I consent to admit you to the degrees, diplomas, and certificates to which you are entitled, and to vest you with all the powers, rights, and privileges pertaining thereto.
So, graduates, now it's all about you. So I'm going to give you some instructions. In a moment, I'll be asking the first row of graduates on this side of the auditorium to proceed to the platform. Once you get onto the platform, please turn and face the audience, and there will be a hood placed around your shoulders. Then you can proceed to the first podium over there, and an orator will announce your name. Now you have to listen to this part carefully, because before you get to the Chancellor, you won't have a degree. After you get to the Chancellor, you will have a degree. So make sure you stop there, and he will admit you to the Convocation of the University of Saskatchewan. Then you can go across the stage to this side, where you will be met by the President, and then you can proceed to shake the hand of your Dean or Associate Dean, who will present you with your parchment. There will be a photograph taken with you and the Dean or Associate Dean. Then you can proceed down the ramp on this side. There's another opportunity to have your photograph taken behind the platform, and someone will direct you how to return to your seat. So I'll ask the students on this side to proceed to the platform.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the Edwards School of Business, I present to you these scholars and ask that you will confer on them the Certificate in Business Administration. I present to you Michelle Allison Armstrong, Kristen Michelle Atkinson, Dana Basco, Cheryl Love Magaway Comahig, Danielle Maria Corvo, Ronald Patrick Erickson, Barbara Maria Joccoli, Tracy Lee Hastings, Jeff Hogan, Riola Lynn Matthew, Lindsay Aaron McDougall, Nathaniel McKenzie, Darla Roxanne Mitchell, Joshua Schaefer, Stefan Ernest Semchishin. Carolyn Faye Siemens. Sean Jeffrey Snow. Barbara Lynn Welland. Kayla Lynn Wiebe. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the Edwards School of Business, I present to you these scholars and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. I present to you Patrick Reese Ackerman. Kier Ann. Allison Jade Anderson. Eric Christopher Antonchuk. Oscar Lotana Chibawike Anunobi. Carlos Hernan Artieda Acosta. Mason Bernard Bollock. Wesley Yu Bang. Dana Patricia Ofalsa Bautista, with great distinction. Brooke Danielle Baxter, with distinction. Cassidy Rain Bell, with honors and distinction. Stacy L. Bennett, with distinction. Grayson Bailey Burting, with distinction. Dustin Bowes. Maria Diane Boyko. Kelly Catherine Breland. Joseph Donald Bristow. Lisa Marie Louise Brundage. Tamara Nicole Brunwald. Travis Lloyd Burgess. Brendan Blair Campbell. Lee Chow, with great distinction. Tricia Ray Carlton. Kimberly Chatterson, with distinction. Devin Wade Peter Cherneski. Cameron Daniel Chiquette, with honors. Parker Albert Chow, with distinction. Niall Joseph Christensen, with distinction. Mitchell Aaron Clark. Matthew Mark Gordon Cresswell, with distinction. Jeremy Nicholas Tchaikovsky, with distinction. Allison Janelle Aaron Daniels. Mary Catherine Alexandra Darling, with great distinction. Michelle Jose Day, with honors and distinction. Alyssa Deardahl. Andrew Demetrician. Kelsey Marie Depker. Nathan James Keith Dorward, with great distinction. Cameron James Dubé, with high honors and great distinction. Caitlin Deanna Dupuis, with great distinction. Megan Duval. Emily Nicole Derland. Gordon James Elliott. Darian Yin Zing Eng. Donna Lynn Ingebretson, with distinction. Nicholas Kalis Enns. Spencer C. Ewan, with distinction. Lee Alexandra Farr, with great distinction. J.D. Marie Fenig. Samantha Pauline Ferrari, with distinction. Sarah Rayanne Fleury, with distinction. Callie Morgan Ford, with distinction. Daisy Renee Francis, with distinction. Jamie Lee Friesen. Carl Michael Obana Fuentes, with distinction. Julian Gao, with great distinction. Alicia Jaden Gaskin. Braden Giesbrecht. Brett James Gleason, with great distinction. Landon Cherniak Goodrich. Rory Elizabeth Gauda Sukachoff, with great distinction. Riley Connor Gray, with honors and great distinction. Kenzie Joanne Gross, with distinction. Dongyi Gu. Yi Gu. Matana Marie Jessica Hanot. Matthew Ryan Hanrahan, with great distinction. Luke Lauren Hansen, with high honors and great distinction. Brent Jason Harris, with distinction. Mitchell Ryan Hartman. Braden Lee House, with great distinction. Mitchell Wager Hayes, with high honors and great distinction. Tate Hedeman. Alyssa Chantal Hickey. Hayden Douglas Hodges. Marissa Lene Hoffman. Joel Luke Hogel. Megan Lee Holben. Sarah Marie Hope. Michael Sean House. Aisha Ishtiak. Reed Jackson. Jessica Lynn Johansson, with high honors and great distinction. Megan Aaron Johnson, with great distinction. Jennifer Brenda Jones. Christopher Douglas Youngworth. Beata Katori. Baxter Douglas Alexander Walter Kawula, with great distinction. Nasser Ahmed Khan, with great distinction. Kendra Jane Clausen. Kenzie Lauren Klein, with distinction. Chantel Koopman. Bradley James Cotania.
Brooke Audrey La Liberty Piwapis Conius. Alicia Rose Landiak. Andrea Beth Landstad, with great distinction. Elizabeth Ann Langer, with high honors and great distinction. Jared Andrew Lottish, with great distinction. Brett James Bowden Luchuk. Yu Xuang Lim, with distinction. Ya Shuao Liu. Zi Jun Lin, with high honors and great distinction. Dana Lynn Lockyer, with distinction. Whitney Marie Lorzell, with high honors and great distinction. Go Sing Long. Xiao Yu Liu, with distinction. Paige Rayanne Manig, with great distinction. Spencer Anthony Marcotte, with distinction. Heather Shaylin Martin, with great distinction. Michael Martin, with great distinction. Marcus Mail, with distinction. Morgan Alessandra McEachran, with distinction. Madeline McCarty. Kaylin Michael McIntyre. Liam Merrick McKercher. Ty Robert McLean, with distinction. Zachary Cole McTavish. Stephanie Alexandra Mejia Velasquez. Anthony Roman Melchiona. Luke Joseph Arthur Melnick. Xiu Miao, with great distinction. Brennan Miles. Abraham as Eldon Abraham Alderrahman Mohammed, with distinction. Adrianus Flores Mollendijk, with distinction. Kathleen Wendy Morrison. Taylor Jean Morrison. Rianne Michelle Morrow, with great distinction. Connor James Moynihan. Jason Robert Monroe. Kelsey Nicole Murphy with honors. Max Riley Mikatishin with great distinction. Reese Alexandria Misko with distinction. Zachary Ty Newman. Dakota James Norris with honors and distinction. Chelsea Chinwendu Warissa. Shaylin Tori Olafson with great distinction. Carter James Olson with great distinction. Maya Leslie Corness Olinick. Corey Park. Derek Matthew Perrette. Owen Dean Peters. Kevin Brandon Petruck with great distinction. Phuong Ha Phan with great distinction. Van An Phan. Cassidy Georgina Luis Piach with distinction. Vasil Polishchuk. Danica Simone Popovich. Thomas Anthony Poth. Paul Remy Poulain with distinction. Tasia Marie Presber with distinction. Cara Lee Provencher with distinction. Janessa Ray Pitts. Yi Tong Chin. Wen Chi Chil. Megan Alexandra Reeves with high honors and great distinction. Tyler Michael Reddle. Thomas James Angus Reesby Foster. Jared Mackenzie Regush with distinction. Taylor James Reach with distinction. Zachary John Rempel. Stephen Paul Revering. Evan Rode. Amanda Joan Richard. Thomas Jonathan Roach. Jacob Rogowski with great distinction. Keach Mondigo Ruiz. Sydney Jean Ryan. Amy Sangmeni. Nicole Justine Sanchez. Nicholas Matthew Sapia with great distinction. Derek Christopher Slosher. Stephanie Dawn Schoenrock. Kendra Michelle Schweitzer. Amy Ann Schwinghammer. Allie Scott. Jaden Nicole Scott with distinction. Ashley Marie Seguin with distinction. Miriam Shazad with great distinction. David Gregory Shepard. Chase Austin Ray Chevernoa. Francis Ian Seacat with distinction. Connor Wade Cease. Mitchell John Carl Singer. Chiranjeev Singh. Travis Drew Chagrin. Jonathan Daniel Skorchuk, with distinction. Donovan Smith. Michaela Marie Spooner, with distinction. Mackenzie Rose Steinhubel, with great distinction. Spence Arthur Stephenson.
Thank you, U of I!
Ian James Stewart, with distinction. Mallory Storzak. Joshua Aiden Strandon, with great distinction. Nicholas Emerson Summick, with distinction. Yuan Sun. Julie Danae Serchuk, with great distinction. Drew Alexander Taylor. Jillian Ann Theoret, with great distinction. Taylor Thiessen. Jenna Dawn Townsend, with great distinction. Larissa Raylene Trammell. Joshua Coleshawn Tufts. Tanner Ludvin Titlansvik, with distinction. Akul Vaidyanathan, with distinction. Samuel Cameron Valentine. Kendra Naomi Vanstone, with distinction. Vivian Isabella Varga, with high honors and great distinction. Cassidy Louise Venn, with high honors and great distinction. Lorena Mavis Warwarrock, with distinction. Brett Brendan Wyman. Mark Thomas Weiss, with great distinction. Christopher Henry Welford, with distinction. Jarek James Wichowski. Ryan Austin Williams, with distinction. Susan Ashley Windmill, with great distinction. Jillian Taylor Walkowski, with distinction. Bailey Mary Beth Wool Ocean, with great distinction. Huan Xiao. Yi Young. Ying Yi. Yua In, with distinction. Linda Youssef. Trevor Allen Zentner, with distinction. Willem Timothy Zur, with distinction. Annie Jang. Chin Yu Zhou. Alexander W. J. Zervinsky, with distinction.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, I present to you these scholars from the Edwards School of Business and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Master of Science. I present to you Arins Anthony Ezionyakar, Iman Ramazani, Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Law, I present to you these scholars and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Juris Doctor. Michael John Albert, with distinction. Candace Isabel Roxanne Almighty Voice. Hasith Andra Henadi. Jared Bernhard Allmiller. Jazz Karen Kaur Bajwa. Alexandra Georgia Barless. Mitchell Ronald Paul Berry, with distinction. Monique Victoria Lamotte Buse. Sylvia Borovska. Luke Rayner Brisbois, with distinction. Tava Burton, with distinction. Tina Kai. Brandon David Kane. Chelsea Ray Marie Campbell. Jeremiah Sarah Chow, with distinction. Marie Ellen Digney. Siobhan Sarah Rose Eberly, with distinction. Robert Ems, with great distinction. Emily Robin Earhart. Brady Dylan Fetch. Brooklyn Ray Fiesel, with distinction. Cody Aaron Andre Francon. Bonita Ann Friesen. Cheryl Marie Giesbrecht. Gareth Alexander Harding Russell. Jesse Randolph Hayward. Sonam Kar Jassar, with distinction. Zoe Rebecca Johansson Hill, with great distinction. Amanda Grace Kempinski, with distinction. Erica Marie Clausen, with great distinction. Madison Page Kowalchuk, with great distinction. Mervyn Edmund Kwok. Alexander James Laird, with distinction. Isabel Tammy LaRocque. Anne-Marie Dawn Lowther. Kimball Anthony McMillan. Adam Joseph McNeil, with distinction. Brett Jenna Martz. Aaron Alexis Martz. Justin Patrick Malone, with distinction. Michael William Marshall, with distinction. Pardon me, with great distinction. Sean James Mihelsson. Christine Kendra Miller, with distinction. Jana Lowry Mitchell. Alexandria Nicole Naysayer, with distinction. Mariah Nell. Jory Roshan Nelson, with distinction. Stephanie Michelle Nemeth, with distinction. Kaylin James Oram. Coleman Edward Owen, with distinction. Catherine Amanda Panton. Alyssa Fenn. Brendan William Prokopchuk. Gianna Grace Reeder, with great distinction. Kayla Page Romano. Colin John Sagansky, with distinction. Laura Catherine Shawn. Carly Marie Sigda Holyoke. Shauna Lee Sparrow, with great distinction. Ward Alexander Spencer. Costa Leslie Stamatinos, with distinction. Catherine Nicole Brooks Starks, with great distinction. Mason Palmer Stott. Emily Kate Sutherland. Allison Marie Toms. Aaron John Vogel, with great distinction. Kirsty Cora Mary Vogelsang, with distinction. Janelle Catherine White, with distinction. Taylor Lane Wilcox. Bryden Lane Woodrick, with distinction. James Siegfried Zick. Eminent Chancellor. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, I present to you these scholars from the College of Law and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Master of Laws. I present to you Hillary Janice Peterson. Please join me in congratulating these graduates on their certificates and degrees.
Eminent Chancellor, in the name of the faculties, I ask you to grant the degrees, diplomas, and certificates in absentia to those students who have met the requirements to graduate but were not able to be present today.
At the request of the faculties, I authorize these degrees, diplomas, and certificates to be granted.
I'd like to call forward Keith Willoughby, the Dean of the Edwards School of Business.
Eminent Chancellor, President Stoichev. On behalf of the faculty of the Edwards School of Business, I am pleased to present the Goodspeed Award offered to the most distinguished BCom graduate. The Spring 2019 Convocation Award winner is Mr. Mitchell Hayes. Mitchell is graduating today with great distinction. I could read his list of academic accomplishments, but there's a Raptors game tonight, so let me hit the high points. He earned Dean's Honor Roll recognition for each of his 4 years in the Edwards School of Business. He received on 2 occasions the Joseph H. Thompson Scholarship and the Angie Ray Prize in Accounting. Now, Hollywood might try to convince us that Gordon Gekko is the real deal for finance. Let me tell you a little bit, though, about Mitchell Hayes. As one of our very esteemed finance majors, Mitchell combines academic excellence with meaningful volunteer engagement. He has helped to raise funds for the United Way. He volunteers at the Ronald McDonald House, and he's participated in a building project for Habitat for Humanity. The recently launched university plan talks about, among other priorities, building inspired communities. Mitchell's volunteer efforts are superb evidence of community building. Next year, Mitchell will be studying law at the University of Toronto, buying Raptors memorabilia, and cheering the Maple Leafs as they return to Stanley Cup supremacy. Okay, we go so far. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Mitchell Hayes, an absolutely stellar example of academic excellence and community outreach. Congratulations, Mitchell. Congratulations, sir.
The Law Society of Saskatchewan Gold Medal is awarded to the student in the College of Law with the highest academic standing in the graduating class. I am pleased to present the 2019 Gold Medal to Catherine Starks. Catherine was born and raised in Prince Albert. Prior to entering law school, she completed a Bachelor of Arts in English at the University of Saskatchewan and a Master's of Arts in English at the University of Alberta. Highlights of her time at the College of Law include playing intramural basketball, participating in the Classic Clinical Intensive, and visiting the Nunavut Law Program in Iqaluit. Catherine has worked as a research assistant for Professor Dwight Newman throughout her degree and has also enjoyed volunteering with Classic, various LGBT community organizations, and is a creative writing instructor at the Provincial Correctional Centre in Saskatoon. This year, she will be clerking at the Court of Appeal for Saskatchewan. She's actually missing her 3rd day of work to be here today, so that's a good start. And next year, we're very proud to say that Catherine will be clerking at the Supreme Court of Canada for the Chief Justice of Canada, the Honourable Richard Wagner. Congratulations, Catherine. Well done. Good job. Good job.
Good morning, my name is Patty McDougall and I serve as our Vice Provost of Teaching, Learning and Student Experience. Eminent Chancellor, it is with absolute joy this morning that I present the 2019 Spring Master Teacher Award to Associate Professor Vince Bruni-Basio from the Edwards School of Business. At his core, Vince is devoted to the scholarship and practice of experiential learning, and his contributions to the teaching and learning environment at the University of Saskatchewan are quite simply epic. As a master teacher, Vince creates a vibrant learning environment that is grounded in the principles of empowering and encouraging students and giving them voice in their learning. He is dedicated to ensuring that students understand the why behind the exercises and processes in class that Vince uses to create real-life learning contexts. In his positive teaching, Vince strives to go beyond being good at his content, consistently demonstrating the respect he holds for his students alongside his commitments to fairness, diversity, and outright enthusiasm. Vince is that educator who can reach into a student and pull out that person's best work and best self. I appreciated that one of his students commented, "This class with Vince was like a mental marathon every time you set foot in the door." And may I add, the great thing is that in Vince's courses, you don't have to run that marathon on your own because he is committed to walking and running together. As a master teacher, Vince demonstrates a long-standing commitment to professional growth as an educator. In part, this is about reflecting on what works and what doesn't work, both in his own courses as well as helping others with the same exploration. Vince takes this exploration and reflection to the next level through academic presentations and published work on areas of teaching that are of interest to many. His leadership in teaching and learning at the University of Saskatchewan is unrivaled, and there are few who venture as far outside their own hallway as Vince. His scholarly and practical expertise in strategy development and governance have been put to tremendous use across the entire university. This morning, we recognize Vince Bruno Bossio as a master teacher at the University of Saskatchewan. I offer him my congratulations and our sincere thanks for all that he contributes to the learning and discovery missions of this amazing institution.
Thank you.
I'd like to add my congratulations to all the graduates on your achievements and on reaching this point. Today you are joining over 155,000 graduates of the University of Saskatchewan around the world. And the Alumni Association has sent you a message in the form of a video, which I would direct your attention to on the screens. Also, on behalf of the Alumni Association, I would like to invite all of you and your guests to a reception which will take place immediately following this ceremony in Convocation Hall across the road from here. I'd like to call on Chancellor Roy Romano to make some concluding remarks.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. When I was in political life all these many years ago, I had an introduction once in rural Saskatchewan where the chair said, we had a good time with the gentleman on the old-time country fiddle. We had a good time with all of the awards. I kind of feel like this today. Now that all the good things are over, here's our final speaker, Roy Romano. And all the good things went on before this time. This brings our convocation ceremony to a close, But before we do bring it to a close, I would like to thank a number of people, or a few of the people who are involved in this wonderful success. Our vocalist, Kate Nachalobi, should be thanked. I think we should take special thanks for our special guest of honor, Tim Hearn, who came and gave us a wonderful message. Our drum group, the Buffalo Boy Productions, our elder, Roland Duquette, and our signer, Ann Websdale, and of course, the teams from the Convocation office, almost very few of whom you see, and the office of the University Secretary, all of whom play such an important role in making these ceremonies a success. Thanks to them, too. Finally, a brief word to the graduates. You have studied hard to earn your degree, and we wish you continued success throughout your lives, both personally and professionally. I'm going to repeat again, congratulations and well done. It's our hope that thanks to your precious experience here, your education has prepared you to meet some of the challenges which face us. Challenges such as how to heal an injured child, how to make art that transforms people's perspectives, how to protect the human right, how to engineer homes to shelter us, how to write a poem that explains the feelings of loss or joy, how to deploy capital to produce and market the new products that the world demands, how to ensure that food production demands are met, and going on. But to sum up all of this, how to design and to work for a truly just state. Earning your degree will show you value for a lifetime to come. I can attest to that. And the education you have received from the University of Saskatchewan has prepared you to meet these challenges head on. And being a U of S grad, I can attest to that too. I say this, follow your dreams, because that's where you'll find your true passion. And in the end, that's what we want for each graduate of the University of Saskatchewan. Under the leadership of our distinguished president, his excellent leadership, Peter Stoichev, and his entire team, that's exactly what they work for on your behalf at this university and epitomized by this convocation. Thank you very much. And so, in closing, I have one more request, that you remain at your seats until the platform party has left the stage. Good luck and God bless all of you. Thank you very much.